Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. Okay, so first I'd like to start this off with saying thank you to Victoria von Bergen. She made a large donation, $126. And it came at the right time, and I very much appreciate that. Thank you very much. Okay, so I want to say this right now. Mercury is in retrograde right now, and I believe it's going to go for about another 6 days. I think it ends, or the last day is on the August 20th or 21st, something like that. So we're getting close in a good way. It's almost over. So keep your guard up, because a lot of times narcissists will come back around during the Mercury in retrograde, okay? So just be ready to say, nope, sorry, and hang up the phone. Just don't talk to them, don't deal with them. If they're at the door, close the door immediately, tell them leave, call the police. When they come back around, they're going to love bomb you, and they're going to set you up, because this time they're really going to hurt you. It's why they come back. It's to finish the job that they didn't finish yet. They don't change, okay? So write these people off. Okay, so today we're going to talk about probably two subjects. Let me close this first. And then I'm going to wrap it up with a safety tip, okay? Something that will put you at safety. Okay, so today's subject mainly is about this. Alright, so you know when you're hurting really bad and you've been done wrong. And you want people to understand so badly, right? Because all these people, your family, flying monkeys, then they grab people and turn people against you, etc. Number one, I want to point this out. Remember, though, whenever flying monkeys get involved, these are people that are already narcissistic, and essentially they are narcissist already, even before they met like the narcissist that's been messing with you, okay? These people were never your friends in the first place. You have to understand that whole thing, even if you were kind of friends and you hung out, or they said hello at school or across the street, if they can be turned against you by someone, it means they were never, they were, okay, it's almost like this. It's not almost, it's exactly like this. It's literally like this. These people are on the other side. They are on the demon side. They are demonic already. They are narcissists, okay? Because you can't, okay, I got it. So, okay, let's say if I walked up to you and started talking shit about someone that you know is a good person, would you just be like, oh, really, man? Oh, okay, yeah, screw them. No, you'd look at me like, really, dude? Yeah, sorry, I don't think so. Now, here's the other thing. Wouldn't you also walk up to your friend and say, hey, man, this person came up to me and said some stuff, like, what's the deal? So you would at least give them a chance to talk to you, to say, no, that's bullshit, or no, they're totally twisting, or giving them a chance to talk. So these people that were acquaintances, they may even said, oh, we're friends. Now, if they turn on you and they don't come up to you on your side, they were never your friends. So remember that. It's important, because you think, why would my friend, they were, if you can really understand, like, they were never your friend. Alright, so what this video is about is, and that kind of is close to it, and I'm leading up to it, is, when you want to yell and scream and tell people how wrong you were done, and how bad people treated you and they lied about you. So it's your inner child yelling out and screaming for you to agree with what they are saying, okay? For you to say yes, that you are right. So, in other words, it's your inner child literally yelling and screaming. And you feel that pain, so you go to other people and you want them to agree. But really what it is, it's your inner child saying that they need for you to say yes, that part of you is right, that you are right. So talk to this part of you that is upset and mad, etc. that was done wrong, because you were done wrong. You need to have this conversation with you, and here's why. The reason why is other people don't want to listen to it, because even if they don't quite realize it consciously, on an unconscious level, they're aware of it. They are aware of it. They can't fix it. Only you can. Only you have the power and are the only one that can make the difference. Okay, for example, if 100 people agree with what you're saying and say, yeah, you know what, those people are wrong, and those people are this, that. So if 100 people agree with you and you don't agree with yourself, then it doesn't matter. Do you get it? So tell it, say, yes, they did you wrong. What they did was wrong. This was really messed up what they did. You need to have this conversation with yourself. So that's why you don't feel, I don't know what the word is, like just feel like content, like, okay, fine, like people understand now, blah, blah, blah. It's like you really need to make this connection with yourself and have this conversation with yourself, probably more than once actually. You need to take your own side. Like literally, like have this, literally say that, like look down into your stomach or kind of put your awareness down there, your gut, your chest area, and say, you know what, you're right. They did do us wrong. What they did was wrong. It begins to build rapport with your inner self. And this begins to open the door to your inner self. And this allows you to create a better, deeper, stronger connection. And what that does, once you open that door, you can begin to have a greater intuition. It really, really is important. Because you look at somebody like, well, how do they just know? It's because they have connected with themselves. They've talked to themselves. They've done this internal dialogue, etc., etc. And the self begins to go, oh, wait a minute, this person is aware of me. And now it begins to communicate with you through feelings and images and thoughts and ideas. And you should do this with other things like, how do I reach my goals and how do I deal with the situation and blah, blah, blah. You really should put some time aside daily and have a few minutes conversation and just kind of tune in and notice what you're getting in return. So here's the second part that I wanted to share with you. It's the safety part. So all right. So one of the things that I do is I get the word out. I let people know what happened to me, who did it. I'll even show them pictures of the person and or people involved, and I'll explain bits and pieces of the story and like what happened and what's going on, right? And what I will do is, like, I've already gone to the police. There's a certain officer at the police station who I'm in rapport with. We've only had a couple conversations, but I gave him information about this, and that, and people that were involved and things that they did, etc. So I have made a contact with the police, okay? Another thing is, because of a situation that happened a few years back, I'm also in connection with a lawyer here in town. And I walked in and talked to him about the situation briefly, and he's very aware of this stuff that's going on. And I gave him, again, information, etc., about what happened, who, what, when, where, and made a list of things, of information for them to have. Now, here's something that you absolutely can do, for sure, 100%. So at the places that I go to a lot, grocery stores, I'm trying to think, like Walgreens, restaurants, just places and businesses that I go to. There's certain people that I will know fairly well over a period of time. And so let's take the cashier at this one location. I just said, hey man, I need to talk to you about something. And he goes, what's going on? And I explained about narcissist abuse and what happened, etc. And I said, hey, if anybody comes in here and asks about me, anything, I don't care if they're asking me what I bought, asking you what I bought, or what's my favorite this or that, I want you to pull your cell phone out and I want you to take a picture of them or turn on video and record them. Just say, hey, hold on a second, I got to turn this thing off, and then turn it on while you're telling them that, and then take pictures of them in video. And they're like, are you serious? I'm like, I'm totally serious. I go, I need you to do this for me, okay? And then I want you to immediately tell me what happened and then show it to me. And then there's two people actually I told them to tell the person to F off and get the fuck out of here and like don't ever come back. Like tell them like, say, look, you're 86, get the fuck out of here. 86 in the United States means you're kicked out for life. And I've done the same thing in my immediate neighborhood, right where I live directly. There's actually 3 people. One was a former military Army guy. He's retired. 2 guys right now are current active duty. One's a police officer, and one is, well, I don't want to say what he is, but he is in the forces. We'll put it that way. They're very aware, and they want one of them. I'm just going to say it. One of them lives right across the hallway from me, and the other one lives right upstairs and over. Okay. Now, there's also another person that just lives down the street 2 blocks away. Someone that I hang out with once in a while. You know, we just goof around, take his dog for a walk, etc. And he's very well informed too. And we've actually discussed like, well, if something happens, like, what do we do, etc. So he's also very, very aware of it. So here's my overall message: get the word out. Let people know. Tell them who it is. Tell them what to do. You know, just in general. Hey, record these people. Just take pictures of them. Period. Like, get evidence. Get proof. So, it really... What's the word I'm trying to say? It kind of heads it off before it begins. Now, that person that I told you that lives down the street a little bit, I told this to him about a year and a half, 2 years ago, something like that, and he just didn't want to hear it. He's like, oh, okay, whatever, man, and it kind of freaked him out, and it also, he just thought, okay, that's a little weird. It didn't make any sense to him, because he's never gone through it. But just recently, I think he may have brought up the subject. I think he said, yeah, my friend's going through blah, blah, blah. And I said, see, I told you. And he goes, what? I go, remember about a year and a half ago? He goes, oh, that's right. I don't remember how we started the conversation, but I remember I was talking about some of it and explaining it. And he looked at me and goes, man, my friend James is saying the same thing that you're saying. And I go, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, these people are stalking him and they're doing this and they're doing that. He goes, I just thought he might be a little bit, like kind of paranoid or nuts or something. And then because the thing about it is, I was talking for about 5 minutes, maybe even more, explaining the stuff. And he goes, man, my friend James is saying the exact same thing that you're saying. He goes, I just thought of it. I'm like, no. I go, this is real. This is really going on. So one of the things I was telling about, I've shared this in the past, but I kind of shared it a little too fast. But I'm going to share it again. Now, this was quite a while ago. This might have been, oh God, I don't know, maybe a year ago, something like that. Maybe 8 months, I don't know, but it's been a while. Might have been longer, I don't remember. So what happened was I was going down this walkway. There's a walkway that was built here on the water on the bay, and it's like a mile down from where I parked, something like that. Yeah, probably a little more than a mile actually. And all of a sudden there's like this crazy guy. He's probably about 40 yards ahead of me. Going, ooh, he's like looked homeless, and his face was all dirty, and his hair was all like, kind of like, like he stuck his finger in an electric socket, kind of sticking up all over the place. And I'm like, what the hell? And he's going, he literally was going, and waving his arms about. And I remember like, what the fuck? And I instantly was like, oh, this is fake. This guy's acting. I mean, he looked homeless. I mean, his face was greasy. He looked like he hadn't taken a shower in like 10 days or a month or something. Had raggedy clothes on, the whole 9 fucking yards. And this bicyclist is going past him, and he knocks him off his bike. And that guy gets, what the fuck are you doing? And the guy like, roar, and the guy goes, whoa, and he took off, And then someone that I'd seen on this path quite a bit, and we kind of nodded and waved, hey, what's up? And I said, look out for that guy. I go, he's what? I go, look out, that guy's crazy. He goes, I'll go, look out. And he was going past me, and then sure enough, that guy knocks him off his ass, and then this guy gets up and goes, what the fuck are you doing? And they were about to get in a fight, so I started sprinting up there, and then the crazy guy runs across to the grass, and there's this young girl there. And he tackles her, so I'm sprinting over that way, and I look back over my left to see if the guy on the bicycle is going to help out. He just got on his bike and takes off while this girl's screaming. I'm thinking, what the fuck? I was like, fuck it, and I just ran. And right about 15, 20 feet before I got to him, he takes off, and he goes behind the building, etc. So I go to the girl. I'm like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "Oh, I'm okay." And just like, so I looked around the building. He was gone. So I go, I'm calling 911 right now. She had already called 911, was on the phone with them. So 2 cops showed up and they got our names. They interviewed us, asked us questions. What did he look like? All that stuff. So after they interviewed us, it took a while for them to get there, probably 15 minutes. And then they interviewed us for about 30 minutes, etc. And so at this point, the wind had shifted because it was going from late afternoon to evening, and in the Bay Area, when the wind comes in, it gets really cold. Now I've got my shorts and my t-shirt on, and the temperature dropped at least 15 degrees, and so I'm kind of shivering. And my car is at least a mile plus up the path. And so the girl's like, "Hey, do you need a ride?" Because she goes, "Where's your car?" I'm like, "It's actually up there in the parking lot way up there." And she goes, "Do you want a ride?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'd appreciate that." So right as I'm getting in the car, she asks me for my number. She says, "Hey, give me your number so I can call you. We could talk." Blah, blah. I was like, "Yeah, sure." And I gave it. And it was right as I was going in. Now, in hypnosis, you can do things like this, like when people are walking in the door. Kind of when they're changing from one room to another or going through a door, I forget the word for it. There's an actual word. It kind of basically temporarily stalls your brain, and you're not really thinking. And when you ask someone something, they'll say it a lot easier and faster. So I just spit my number out, and right as I'm sitting down, I'm like, "Oh, what the fuck am I doing? I don't even know I don't know this person from Adam or Eve." And I was going, "Oh God, I want to take my number back." And I was kind of like, "Oh," because all the whole narcissist thing kind of started coming up, and like, "Oh Jesus." And the other thing was, I thought, that is really weird. This young lady, she gets tackled by this crazy dude. We just dealt with the police, and she's asking me for my number. And I also thought, it's not usual for girls to ask a guy for a number, especially that fast. So my red flags went up, and I'm like, this is not right. That's not normal. A young lady that got tackled would probably be scared to death. Tackled by a complete strange man that's homeless, that's all, like weird and shit. So we're pulling away, and I'm really paranoid, going, okay, something is not right. Now, I don't know what it was, but my eyes started scanning the entire car. I'm looking around. I'm just looking for anything. I don't even know what I'm looking for. And lo and behold, I found it. On her dash, on the passenger side, right in front of me, it's a long form taped to her dash with her name, address, city. And I noticed the city. I'm like, "Oh, you got to be kidding me. That's the same city that Narcissist is from." I was like, "Oh," that's when I was like, "Oh, something is up." So I'm looking at this like, what is this thing? And it was her freaking driver's permit. And I said, "So you live in this city?" She's like, "Yeah, how'd you know?" And I pointed to her thing, and I said, "It's right there on your dash." She goes, "Oh." I'm like, "Yeah." I go, "What are you doing down here?" "Oh, I just, wanted to see the ocean." And I go, "Really? You drove all the way down here from there, just all by yourself?" I'm like, "Yeah, like, something was sketchy." And then I said, "How old are you?" And she goes, 20? I go, is that a question? And she goes, no. I'm like, "So how old are you really?" She goes, no, I'm 20 now. I go, "You don't sound very certain." I go, "Do you not know how old you are?" And I'm just like smelling a rat. And so I pointed to her thing on the dash. I go, "Look, that's your damn driver's permit. You're from this city, blah, 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 blah." And she's getting scared because I'm getting pissed on purpose because I'm trying to scare her so she spills the beans. And I said, "Who sent?" I think I don't remember exactly what it was like who sent you? Like, why are you here? Blah, 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 blah. And she just spilled the beans like almost within 30 seconds. She goes, "Oh," and she said the name of the person, the narcissist. "They sent me, they paid me, blah, 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 blah." And I'm sure you guys are already figuring out. Oh, by the way, she was underage. And she goes, "I was supposed to have sex with you so we could throw you in jail." Pretty fucked up, huh? So I was telling this to my buddy down the street, and when I was telling him, he goes, "Dude, you're not gonna believe this." He goes, "My friend told me a very similar story." He goes, and well, I don't want to get into that, but he said, and so he's starting to understand what I was trying to tell him more than a year ago. So here's the good news. Word is getting around because of YouTube and everything, Instagram, all kinds of things. Even there's songs being written about this. So I told my friend, I met him about 5, maybe 6 years ago, and we didn't really get to know each other. I mean, we did, but it really wasn't until like the last year or two. I would help him with stuff, and hey, Mike, can you help me with this? And he'd help me fix my car and this and that. And he looked at me. He goes, because I would tell him, what I said, he goes, yeah, I don't let people get in my head like that. I'm like, no, I don't think you understand. It's not like one person doing one little thing. I go, it's a group of people. And he was like, what? I go, yeah, they call it gang stalking. That's when he got really quiet, because he told me this is like for the first, like this guy like interrupts and talks a lot, and he just got really quiet for the first time that I've ever known him. And he let me talk for a while, and I was explaining what gang stalking is, the shit they fucking do, and that was one of the things I explained. I go, then there was this other person who was from the same area 5 minutes away from that city, and then she admitted it, and blah, 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 that she got paid, to F me over, etc., etc., and he was just like, man, he goes, my buddy's been saying this to me, and I just thought he was, kind of a little bit weird. The other thing is she just blurted this guy's first and last name out, too. So the cool thing about this guy, he's very well known in the neighborhood, and he's a badass himself. He's a pretty tough dude, and he's like, dude, he goes, I got you now. Because another thing he said, he goes, my buddy would he would kind of freak out, like don't do that. And because sometimes this guy will kind of goof around, do stuff, or he'll, just, and I'm like, I go, do you remember he saying the same thing to you about a year and a half ago? He goes, oh shit, you did. I go, yeah, when we were changing the oil in my car. He goes, oh yeah. He goes, you know what? He goes, I thought he was just being sensitive. And I was like, no, dude, when you're going through that gang stalking, like you don't, and I told him, I go, don't you remember how kind of I kept my distance from you? He goes, yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. I go, it's because I didn't know who to trust back then. Another thing I did I kind of left out earlier on, I've gone up to a few managers of certain businesses and restaurants and stores in this area. And I've talked to them about, some things that have happened, and I explained it to them. Because the narcissist will go up to workers at the stores, and they'll get the workers to harass you, and all kinds of stuff. And so I made a real big point of this one, not just one store, it's 2 stores. And the manager's like, you know what? I've actually heard about what's been going on at the store, like this, where like some of our employees were harassing some people. Yeah, and I pointed out to people. She goes, yep, those are the same ones. I'm like, yep. So I think okay, so here's the deal. Because I'm a little bit older and I've been around and I've had to deal with lawyers and the police, like I'm a lot more comfortable doing it now. And I'm a lot more comfortable, like for a lot of you, I understand even going to like a manager and saying, hey, here's, what's going on, or your employee did this or whatever. It is kind of a step. It's kind of a challenge. Because narcissists know that you've been beat down psychologically not to stand up for yourself. They know that when you were raised by other narcissists that you were punished, every time you stood up for yourself, spoke up for yourself. So this is something narcissists kind of rely on, and they hope, I hope this person doesn't speak up for themselves. And that's one of the things that allows them to do what they do. But when you start speaking up and start getting the word out, all of a sudden they run into a roadblock. But you have to get started somewhere, and the more you do it, the more comfortable you feel doing it. So all of a sudden, all the tables start to turn. So all of a sudden, there's a lot of people that have like a red alert. They are made aware in advance of hey, here's what's going on in my life. This is what's going on. Here's what's going on at your store. And so now oh, okay, so something does happen. They're going to be like, oh shit. So these are things that you can do to stand up for yourself. And there's a really important phrase, something I even posted it in a meme. I don't think I have the... Sorry, I accidentally turned it off. So I don't have that meme anymore. But essentially what it said was, you can have anything you want in life. All you have to do is stand up for what you want. to really, really stand up and get it. You know, I learned this from Tony Robbins, and it was very hard for me to talk to managers and owners of restaurants and stores and go into the police. But I've had to do it so many times. Like, some of it was just by pure force. Like, I literally had to go to this lawyer. I had to go to the police. And this was about another issue years ago. And you just kind of get started that way. You just kind of go. And, you know, if you have a friend that will go with you, do it. And I'm at a point now, like, okay, I can do this. This isn't a problem. You know, one thing narcissist abuse does to you, it makes you grow up. It makes you, what's the word? It is a part of growing up. It makes you learn how to stand up for yourself. It makes you just do it, whether it's yelling, speaking up for yourself, going to the police, you know, taking action, doing what you have to do. You're becoming an adult. Like, hey, this is just a part of life. You have to deal with it. So I hope this video helps you. And remember, you can learn how to stand up for yourself. Like, if you listen to my voice right now compared to what it was 2.5, 3 years ago when I started these narcissist abuse videos, it's a lot more grounded, a lot more relaxed. I feel a lot more confident in life in general, too. And remember, if you need coaching on any of this, I can absolutely help you, not just with the logistical things, but helping you to shift unconsciously and consciously to become a more comfortable and confident person. Alright, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please click subscribe, click the like button, and if you'd like, go ahead and make a comment. And remember, there's a PayPal link right there in the description box below the video if you want to make a donation. Alright, God bless you guys. Thank you very much for listening. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.